Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my Raging Germany series. There's been a small hiccup in the series because somebody was kind enough to enlighten me about a very important differentiation based on the plans we had talked about last segment, and that is namely the Great Wall. Now, it says right here, you can see it plain as day. Upon discovering dynamite, the Great Wall becomes obsolete. He had pointed out to me that this applies to the empire that builds the Great Wall. So in this case, the Ottomans would have to research dynamite, not us. So there's no timely way to neutralize the Great Wall, unfortunately. I do believe that it still makes sense to go into metallurgy, since we are going to be gunning for Genghis Khan, pretty soon actually because in the last part, the Ottomans took Atlanta, Genghis Khan took Boston, which is really great for reasons I'll get to in a moment, and we took Washington. Meanwhile, Vilnius is actually attacking Philadelphia, and given how much Washington's army's been gutted, this might actually go through. Probably not, just because of this mountain range here, but still, that's pretty funny. I mean, even worst case scenario, though, he'll be left with Chicago, so he's not going to get wiped out of the game. Still, it's pretty entertaining. Getting back to strategy and the State of the Union here, once we do push through New York, we'll be heading towards Turfin. So it's not going to be long until we're gunning for Genghis Khan, probably the amount of time it takes to conquer New York, heal everybody up, and get ready to go. Um, One of the things to keep in mind is that I did a little research on the side, and I have reason to believe that if we do push into Turfin and Beshbalak and Karakorum, we will not wipe Genghis Khan out. He will still remain in Boston, even though that's a puppet of a city from another civilization. Obviously, it's not going to matter too much because we're at a stage in the game where pretty much everybody hates us, and the only person that could really take exception to this is the Ottomans, and from where we would be to where his capital is pretty wide open. For this reason, I do think that even going into military science to upgrade into cavalry might make sense. Simply because we don't really have to plan for a long game. This is, we're still going to be approaching the end. This is kind of going to be on time. We get a great scientist in 10 turns. We can bulb. They tend to be worth 8 of the last, a sum that's worth 8 of your last turn's worth of science accumulation. So imagine this says 4, so this is where we would be looking at after we start fighting with Genghis Khan. We'd basically have 13 turns to get into military science. So we would actually have that finished before we were finished taking care of Karakorum, I would guess. And the reason for that would simply be because if the Ottomans do, first of all, we can't neutralize the Great Wall, so the more units we have that can move quickly, the better. And then also, if his army is comprised of any form of anti-mounted, it's either going to be pikemen, which are going to be weak compared to even the lancers, let alone cavalry. But let's say he has his own lancers. Let's say he's made it to that point. The fact that we'll have our own fleet of lancers and our own fleet of cavalry means we would overload his anti-mounted. So I hope that makes sense. So basically what that means is for the near foreseeable future, I don't see going off track based on what we discussed last time. If anything, this actually comes with the relief of not having to build the National College to bulb dynamite. And the reason why I think that's so great is because as I was looking at the map after the last segment, I was actually thinking we might have to build Leaning Tower of Pisa to use the great engineer to build Oxford whenever we want. And the reason for that is because we're going to be burning cities left and right. And when you're burning a city, it's counted as annexed in your uh, empire, so we would not be able to build Oxford manually if, say, we had the city, we were burning it to the ground and it didn't have a university, or this city, or this city. So, and the chances that they all have everything we need, especially as we're conquering them, destroying half the buildings when we do, is just not very likely. But now we don't even have to worry about that. So, enough jibber jabber, let's get on to metallurgy. In the last segment, we did take Washington, and as you can see, all of our musket men are pretty much healed up, so that's really great. We have a couple horses doing some recon over here. This is probably an ancient era camp, which means we'll clear all this out. No time. Hopefully get somebody back. We still have a little bit of scouting to do. In fact, since we do have the horses in the north, I want to take the scout to the south. I almost forgot that he has the altitude training, and of course we've got open borders, so we're going to take as much advantage of that as possible. Now when we came up here, if I remember correctly, we weren't expecting this guy, or he kind of creeped up on us. But the nice thing here is, usually when I take over an enemy city, one of the first things I do is rip up the roads, but you can see with this river and the forest and stuff, these roads are actually going to be very beneficial getting our people down. So even though we just took Washington technically this turn, I think I'm going to go ahead and start pushing everybody down, simply because I can. And we come down here and we see visibility wise nothing there, and this should dissuade this guy to, like, you know, stick around. Well, this should influence him to like take off rather than damaging our crossbowmen. And of course if he doesn't, then yeah, see, this guy's all coming from the back, and now these guys can push through zone of control. We'll get all of our crossbowmen in. All four of them are double tappers. Three of them are very close to getting range as well. Unfortunately, this missionary's here, so we gotta just get onto the road. And of course we will bring a great general, because from here he appears to be able to influence all of our units, and this will be our backfield great general for now. Meanwhile, we do have another great general and pikemen. Basically we were getting all of our pikemen in position because we're going to transform them into lancers, push into Karakoram, and at some point, probably not in this segment because this segment will probably just comprise of New York and Turfin, but at some point we'll start getting all of our horses over here so we can upgrade to cavalry and make the final push into Istanbul, which from down here should be relatively easy. Now keep in mind that while we're doing all this, Istanbul, or the Ottomans, might come pushing into us, in which case we might have to retrace our steps, come back up to Washington. I don't know. That's just another reason to keep units flowing in from all over the world. In fact, when it comes time to, once we get our extra great general in here, we might want to consider putting down a citadel somewhere over here before this burns down. So that's something to think about. Anyways, let's keep on cruising. We're just going to cycle through everybody, start getting them over here. All the ones that... now I forget. This is the worker that was heading down to Delhi. Not really important, because there's not really going to be anything else to do over here. Oh, look at this. Now see, this is one of the things I was talking about, the difference between puppet and annexing and the national wonders. If this becomes Zorro, we can actually annex it and buy a mosque here. I don't know if that's going to be worthwhile. We're building... yeah, we don't have a Colosseum here, and we are building the Circus Maximus, so we would hold off on that if that's what we decided to do. Let's see here. Well, these guys are technically the death squad over here. We do have a horse with us. I think it's too soon to start getting them over there, so we'll just do that. It's actually been a while. I was playing a different game on the side, a different game of Civ, trying to test some early game stuff that I thought might have made this run a little bit better. Trying to see how viable all that would be. So, kind of coming into this map a little cold, but hopefully it's not going to be too big of a problem. Most of the workers we've got in these puppets, really, I mean, they're if we were hard up for gold, I'd be like getting rid of them, because a lot of these improvements I'm doing is just to keep them busy. Let's see, this guy's going to finish that. We got, yeah, see what I mean? We just got all kinds of workers over here doing like busy work. Probably have him come down though. We do want to rip up the roads after we leave this area. Or perhaps not. Maybe it would be worthwhile to burn New York down to 1 and then annex it. Just so we have that land to come back up through if in case the Ottomans get antsy. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll back up. That way, I don't even think this guy can see us, but if so, this guy definitely can't. Unfortunately, this guy can't get across the river this turn. But once he does, it's going to be phenomenal. So, let's try to get one of these workers more forward. In fact, let's put him there. If he wants to steal it, let him, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, this guy can go ahead and just start repairing stuff. None of this is really important. But, you know, we have an extra worker, so... In fact, for that reason, since this guy finished up here, I'll go ahead and cancel this order. Using a turn up here is fine because it would take a whole turn here, but I think it might be better to start bringing him down south. We'll let him finish that up because there's just none of that really matters there. Okay, I believe this was the death squad being retreated. And that's the other thing we got to think about is as we go to mobilize our knights, how much of our death squads do we want to start heading over that way? Because that's a decision we'd have to make right now. In the cities that we actually have control over, I mean, we could even use our money to buy a scout as a human monument. So we do need to kind of keep human monuments going just for the happiness, I think. But let's take care of the road first here. Iron's not particularly important right now. This was our death squad up here. Just gonna start. He's a pikeman, so we'll and he's a pikeman. So maybe once these horses are done, one of them will be a human monument. Hopefully when they clear the camp, we'll get some assistance so that we can free up all the units over here. I'm going to just keep saying yes to all the open borders. We just got to make sure that when it comes time to actually declare the war, we don't have anybody in Genghis's borders, or else we'll get pushed out and we can't really control how that would go. I was not looking forward to this. Oh wow, we have our first unit with range. That's very nice, especially since he could reach this hill this turn. And 1, 2, 3, we should be able to shoot at New York, the city, from there. So that's fantastic. Let's see what's going on here. We do have melee and range. Let's see what happens when I pillage here and push forward. We are fully healed, and that's actually kind of unfortunate. Although if we attack here... Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Get up on the hill for... Oh wait, I don't think horses enjoy terrain buffs. But at the barbarian camp, okay, go get them. Do. Yeah, that's probably better. No longer friends with Vancouver. One thing we gotta keep in mind, we're raking in the dough, and I was looking at this. As you can actually see on the map right here. Other than Vilnius, which we already are allies with, there are no city-states near Genghis Khan, so we can't really buy that. And the one over here, I don't even know, like Zanzibar, like, did we tribute them at some point? Probably, that's what it looks like. But even if we were to ally them, they would want to attack Edirne, not Istanbul. So I don't think that we could do that we can count on that for assistance. On the other hand, these mercantile ones, if they have luxuries we don't have, we can use our money to buy into happiness. Make a proposal. Unfortunately, the game's probably not going to last long enough for this to make a real difference. So, ideally, let's see, embargo city-states now, we're trading with them. Embargo with the chosen civilization. No, we want trade routes coming in and out of us, so we don't want that. Ban luxury, we have a very widespread. I mean, we could look at Ottoman lands and say, oh, they're predominantly, let's see, we got fur and dyes here. Because the luxuries tend to, like, be feast or famine. Yeah, furs. I don't think that's going to be worthwhile. My thought was if he's got 1 million copies of something and we only got like 1 or 2 doing that, might like hurt him because he could be trading them for substitute luxuries, but I think I'm getting a little too extravagant there. Standing army tax, we don't want that because, you know, obviously. Here, great people aren't really going to be playing too much of a grateful if we propose this. I mean, yeah. Angry, lots of people. World religion, we don't care. Grateful, a lot of people, and the only one that would hate us is the one we're at war with right now. So, alright, let's just do that. Let me know what you guys think as far as how I should have played that, in your opinion, because at this point I figure we're so close to the end of the game, it's almost not really worth taking too seriously. But, let's see. Yeah, just getting these hills all farmed up. We're going to grow to this tile in a turn or two, so I just sent that other worker over there. Like I said, none of this really matters as far as the workers. Like, all of our tiles are taken care of. All these puppets are already working the best tiles anyways. So, okay, back to this. I kind of want to push into here. Let's see. I could shoot from here. I kind of want to get my ranged one on here this turn, but if I don't shoot from here and I do get the ranged one, this guy can use the roads to kind of get over here. I do want to attack into this just so we have a damaged melee, so that as I am getting my ranged into range, he would be less likely to attack them. Yeah, this is, you know, I mean, this guy's coming right here. If he tries to run away, we can just, you know, cut him off at the pass kind of thing. For that reason, I'll go ahead and push in here. We can actually reach the city from here. We'll get the guy with range up there. Let's see. Both of these would use up all of their mobility just to get onto the road. So let's count on that. It's unfortunate we didn't actually clear up this hex, but you know, that is what it is. So this guy can get here. I mean, we could always attack into the city just to have a damaged melee, but this should be fine. So I'm just going to hang out there. Same thing here. And that means these guys can get onto the road. If we clear this out, I don't see the reason for that. Let's have him hang out to where he could pass through and kind of get on the road. And then that frees this guy up to get on the road here. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to point out. Right at the very last end, we saw beakers appear right here, which would signal that he had completed a university. And then when we took Washington, the university was one of the buildings that survived. So that was kind of nice. Also, we got to make provisions for these civilians because we've got workers coming through. What could he do? He's dangling. I mean, we could put somebody there because we got two archers that are both double tappers that could interact, and the musketmen can pillage and push in. For this reason, well, no, we would want to dangle here, so let's just do that. Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, these tiles would need repair, because I do think keeping a hold of New York, just burning it down to 1, might end up being the way to go. Obviously, the moment we start to burn it down, we get in the way of one of our own national wonders, so we'll have to make sure that we're all squared away like we would like at that point. Oh, cool, we actually get through the city. And we meet which happens to be purple for you Aqua Teen Hunger Force fans. Adult Swim actually has a free app on Roku, so I recently actually finished up that series. The series finale was actually a really funny episode. Boring. Boring. That was hilarious. It's an acquired taste, so if you don't even know what I'm talking about, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Anyways, let's focus on what's going on here. And we've got one last turn. We can hope that neither of their borders grow to close this off, so our great general can get around for free. This is annoying, but whatever. None of this is really in rush mode, so I'm not too worried about it. We were just going to make a river farm, because, you know, why not? Let's see here. You're just going to be the human monument there. Great general's fine right there. We'll start encircling the city. Oh, we actually have movement left. That's amazing. Oh, because the road tile here. Okay. I thought I counted off 4, but with that road, we get just ever so slightly a boost. Let's see here. Obviously, none of this matters. Our happiness is starting to get to the edge. That actually is an extra die. I didn't notice that. I should have sold that at the time we took it over, so that's a mistake on my part. I did not notice that. I was too busy talking about the metagame. Nothing wrong with that. Does he want this worker? No? Oh! Is that extra dies? Is he trying to reinstate a deal we had already made? Now, see, that's very unfortunate. Because, oh, okay, it did come back. I re-highlighted it because it's possible that it doesn't update. And that says it's an extra one, so I'm guessing this is a deal we already had going. Usually in a situation like that, you want to try to say yes to them, just so there's no gap. Yeah. He probably would have done this anyways, and that's fine. We're about to attack him, so... Thankfully it is, in fact. There has been times I've seen this say I have duplicates. I sell one off and my happiness goes down, so... Alright, so this is interesting. I don't know what's going on here, but that guy's toast, obviously. See what's going on here. First promotion, that's interesting. Killed an Indian spy. We're going to try and nice up with everybody as much as possible. Hamburg has grown. We're already working on the best tiles, so we'll just get to production, get that... Oh, you know what? This is actually better. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to every city and increase our... Because we don't want growth too much at this point. The money's nice, so we'll stick with that. But, like, here's a map, you know... I mean, this city's not growing anyway, so that's no big deal. This city... in one turn we'll grow, and then we'll get that into stiff production mode. Let's see, this city... We're working with gold, that's good. We could take this pure... Oh, we're already working this gold tile, so that's nice. I mean, that's fine, right? Because we don't... Happiness is going to start getting stretched. And of course, the sooner I do finish this, the better. So let's see, 4 turns, still 4 turns, and I don't think we can afford to ditch any more growth. So let's just keep on this track. Once that tile, once the population grows, we'll work this and, you know, be in max production mode. I probably should have addressed that at the start of the segment, but, you know, Byblos. Okay, so Byblos has declared war on us. Where is that? One of the ones down here? It is. Okay. So what we can do is we can start having this guy head down here. That's not Byblos, right? That's Valenius. He's like, yeah, he's fleeing, being pelted by Philadelphia. I'm not sure why he came this far, but maybe he was being pursued. I don't know. Anyway, since we're at war with Byblos, might as well get some great general points experience, that kind of thing. Suleiman stole some of your land. Okay. I guess maybe he feared we were coming his way and wanted the extra defense. We came after Washington, and now we're heading to New York, so I'm not sure what his problem is, but that's okay. We're going to kind of be prepared for... Viper is the name of our spy. I like that. Anyways, we're going to just continue to encircle this city as best we can, so as to prevent these Keshiks. They can't capture because they're a ranged unit, but nevertheless we don't want him saving a tile so that one of his units later does actually do something like that. Before I delegate where these guys end up, let's test. Okay, so it looks like both of our archers should be able to get into a position to shoot at New York. This guy can't even see that now, so we're gonna skip that. So maybe like have this guy come here, and we'll move the Great General more to the east side rather than the west, both because Genghis Khan's over here and because we've got these archers back here. This Great General can come to the west side. Okay, so he should be able to reach New York from there. He would be able to reach New York from there. Although, if we come here, we can actually step and shoot. I failed to notice that. Oh, look at that. Now he gets range. Okay. Far out, man. Oh, this guy can pelt him. Dead. Nice. Alright, now we can go to work on the city, which is actually falling pretty damn fast. I was going to point that out. This said 19 at the end of the last segment. This said 27. So that's like 50% stronger. So I thought New York was going to put up more of a fight. Obviously, he doesn't have any other units nearby, so this is spectacular. Let's see here. He was here last turn, so if we had gone here, we could end up on the road here and actually like use him to attack into the city. I don't think we would have, but being that we do have one tile lacking, because it would kind of be nice to have Circus Maximus in play before we take New York, you know, like maybe just play hacky sack with it for a minute, because we don't have metallurgy yet, so we're in no rush to take this. It would tank our happiness most likely. Keep in mind we got zoos, Circus Maximus, courthouse is going up everywhere, so well, our puppets can't really speak for that, but oh, look at that. The road to here didn't actually use up enough of his movement, so we could shoot again. Oh, nice. He got that promotion in between double taps. I didn't even notice that. That's excellent. Alright, so before I was going to actually tear up the roads, but I do think we should at least leave the road between New York and Washington intact. The one from New York to Boston, maybe not so much, but who knows, maybe, because he might have units that want to come through here, and there's marsh here, so we might actually want to swing that way. We might just leave these roads intact for now. That's probably a good idea. Let's see here. So the worker just kind of wants to get down here and start repairing things, I guess. Make the most of what we do have. Because now that Suleiman stole our land, all of Washington is in full repair and appears to have all the improvements we would give it anyways. So that is just that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I would have liked to have been able to hop on the hill. But here we can at least see 2 hills, so maybe next turn we can get in on that with our altitude training. Now this really sucks. On the other hand, once we take this camp, we might actually have a warrior that can act as a blocker. So let us... 1, 2... Yeah, I was hoping he would kill it outright. I want to step here. I don't actually know if mounted units enjoy flanking bonuses or not. Oh, it appears it does, so we should just be able to... 1, 2, 3. And we did not get... Okay, but luckily this guy's just so strong, he bests this one, however, slightly. It is really unfortunate we didn't get a unit out of that, because we could use something, but I'll just use him as a blocker and get this guy into position. We'll tag team that since now I know there is... Oh, look at that! There's some happiness for us. In fact, we could use our money. What do you have, my friend? Whales and porcelain. Unfortunately, I think we already have both of those in duplicity. So, you know, that really sucks that all these maritime ones all have porcelain. That one's got incense, which I don't recall if we have. I think we pretty much have everything now except for like the maritime ones, so that's not very helpful. Let's move here for visibility's sake. The time is coming where we're going to have to think about when to move our death squads and horses over that way. Perhaps we'll have enough time after this segment. Well, at the very least, he can take over for him since he needs to heal up. Oh, look at that. We got across the river. So unless... I guess I misspoke, because I suppose it's possible one of these grow to here, and then I get pushed back. So we're not out of the woods yet, but probably. I might as well end up on the hill for visibility. Alright, let's get over there. Okay, so our future Lancers are getting into position quite well. Let's see here. This worker, I mean, we can dangle him, start repairing down here. Did I dangle him last turn? Is that why he was, I kind of lost track. Yeah, I don't think we'll be ripping up roads, but if we do hold on to New York, then we can actually make use of these pair of furs. Do we have furs at all? It does not look like that we do. I think if I remember correctly, the deal kind of expired right before we went after Washington. It looks like we could trade with Genghis Khan, but why? We're about to get our own, as you can plainly see. Okay. That doesn't matter. Like here, I'm just going to say I forgive you. I don't know how much it's going to help, but... Oh, good. Alright. Well, good. Maybe that holds them off ever so slightly. Viper promoted again. Nice. Let's see here. Yep. Knew that was coming. When it comes to worker direction, I always try to look at when the borders are going to grow and try to anticipate that kind of stuff. Arabia stole chivalry, whatever. And killed a Persian spy. It's funny that we're standing up to the very people who started off. Alright, so let's go ahead and work full production. This is the worst tile here, so let's get into the gold action here. And we're still growing fairly well in this city, so maybe we can even say here. Because we don't want so much growth, but we do want the production to get those happiness buildings flowing. Courthouse is almost done. We'll get into zoo next. So, no longer friends with Ragusa, trespassing in Ur, and he's got both of the hills occupied, which is unfortunate, but we'll step up here. Oh, look, I can get over here. That helps. I mean, kinda, right? We're still trespassing. I was going to end up here since we still have visibility, but this is the same, only better, so whatever. No longer friends with Ragusa. That's last food and capital, which right now is actually not that bad of a thing. He's going to end up in Constantinople next turn, so let's just go ahead and put him in there for a turn. And now he can do that. Alright, we made it. Nice. Okay, so I don't know what we're going to do with all these great generals, but it's probably going to be a good idea to stake out land as we approach hard cities. Turfin's not going to be hard, so we might not have to do that. I just think it might be nice. Like, I don't know if we can drop one in their territory since it is borderland, or if we'll have to use this one. We can try here, and if that doesn't work, we can drop it here. But if we drop it here, we can get in at Kilimanjaro without taking Turfin. Beshba looks pretty approachable. Especially once we have altitude training, we could skate across these hills, get more of an encirclement going. And of course, Karakoram. It's got these hills here, but a little bit approachable from this side, a little bit approachable from that side. So I don't see the rest of that being particularly challenging, I guess I should say. We'll occupy this hill to act as... Oh, there we go. Okay. So we might get shot, but we should be able to damage that fairly well. And of course, this will be able to clean up next turn. After that, let's get some visibility. It's a horse, so I will go here just to kind of zone of control my crossbowman in the background. Alright, so flanking. This is going to hurt, but in fact, yeah, we'll just leave it like this. 1, 2, 3. He can get through, and that way he can continue scouting while this guy does most of the fighting. We'll try to keep the flanking bonus going. And then, of course, once he gets damaged, we might have the horse just finish him off. Alright, so New York could easily fall this turn. I don't think that's necessary, though. So what might be a good idea is let's go ahead and pillage. Step forward. Step forward. Get the Great General starting to come around. Now, he can travel across the road. Nuts. I can't occupy this as well. I mean, we don't actually have to occupy the tile. Actually, this thing is so damaged, we might not even be able to get in all the shots that we can. So let's do the guys that don't have range. Let's give them the best experience because we're gonna run out here. Unfortunately, I do want somebody to step in there. I suppose it could be him, right? Because once he's here, he could end up there. So yeah, let's just go ahead and take Max. Oh, there we go. There's a ranged promotion. All right, so now we don't need him to be as. Okay, everybody's got range, so he can use his movement to get there. We'll have him step, shoot, and because of the road... Oh, I guess he doesn't get to go again, but that's fine, because I was going to have him step, come in here, shoot. And there we go. We milked all the experience we could. And this worker can actually start getting to work. I guess when we take this over, the most important tiles to have repaired are these, as well as maybe this. So I might just have this worker come here, because we do have another one coming from behind. And in fact, I just now noticed that this guy could have been one of the ones swinging in. But that's okay. We can just move him a little forward. In fact, let's just go ahead and back him back up. Let's protect that worker. I don't think it makes a difference either way, but, you know, why not? Alrighty. So, in 3 turns, I anticipate will be when we seize New York formally. So then we could start burning it down, selling off its buildings, and then of course as the population reduces, our happiness will go up, and we should be able to take it from there. Okay. So yeah, these guys can just defend. It don't matter. That city is toast. In fact, we might have this worker come down too, because this area of the world is just going to be under fire underneath our feet, so... even though we have too many workers in general, I think sending the bulk of them over here, they'll have stuff to do. Tearing up roads, establishing roads, you know, whatever. We'll figure it out. He sounds angry, but he's like, oh, see, here we go. This is exactly why I wanted to make sure we occupied the tiles. Man, look at this. We could just, oh my gosh, if I declared war right now, we could do so much damage to these guys. I really want to, too. Because, like, this guy, can he reach? No, he can't. Okay. But, I mean, these two could act on the city. These guys could really start going to work, taking out these Keshiks. Let's see. 18 range, double tapping. Whoops, wrong button. Just for laughs, let's check this out. Alright, so combat 15, 16. Alright, so 18 shooting them. Well, we'd hit them. I mean, I don't see a great general of theirs nearby, but... okay, so let's get some promotions here. Okay, he took a swipe at our horse. So this actually... Oh, you suck. Okay, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's hope there's no other barbarians here, otherwise we just lose our horse, but so what, really. Hey, look at this. Our, these guys have something to do now. We'll end him up there, because chances are the other guy can end up here. Yep. Thank you, machinery. So he can step and shoot. This guy will block, and we'll annihilate whatever that is. Hopefully we get some units out of it, because we could start using some of that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3... this looks like a dead end, but I will get out of his way. Oh crap, this doesn't work, because now he'll occupy that and I'll never get out. His units might just keep buzzing around. We might have... Alright, so what's going on here? He says he wants iron. I don't think we're this friendly yet. Are we this friendly? Yes, we are. For now. It's not going to last. We got our eyes on turf. So there we go. That's a lot of happiness, actually. Maybe this is the turn to take Washington. I think we could survive it. Oh, wait, no. We have to wait for Circus Maximus because there's no guarantee. I mean, we probably could seize it now, and if it doesn't have a Coliseum, just leave it puppeted for an extra turn. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. We could capture with this guy just so that this archer could start walking in a little bit better. I think that's a good idea. So, I don't know if this thing's got enough health to take on 2 shots, but who does not have ranged? You have ranged, you have ranged, you have ranged. You do not. Okay, so even though this is the guy we'd like to step in, he's the one that could use the experience the most. And I hate how thin this is. 1. Alright, since it has 1, this means 2 different things. Number 1, any archery shot against the city would not yield experience, and any attack onto the city would not kill the melee doing it. Unfortunately, we can't really pillage to heal these guys up, so we're just going to take the city like this, and hopefully our happiness. We'll just create puppet for now. And I do see Colosseum here, so that's really nice. That means we could start burning it this turn. So let me see what that would entail. Would increase by 3. That's plenty. We got plenty. All right. So while this is burning down, we can sell off whatever buildings we want. So I don't see a reason not to start burning it right now, really. Our happiness can definitely take it. So let's use this turn to talk to Genghis Khan. Let's tell him off. Yeah, stop spying on me is a good one. We can denounce him next turn. We're not going to have Lancers right away, but I mean, just this looks so sweet. I don't like seeing that he has this many still, and I don't like seeing that for the most part they're healthy. But if I can shift my melee, like let's see. Yeah, he could end up there if this guy wasn't there. So, I mean, I could shift my melee, and maybe, like, these musketmen could step out and find them and start shooting them at a distance before the Lancers get online. I don't know how wise that is. On the other hand, I don't know how much it makes a difference. I don't like that this guy's over here either. So it wouldn't be this turn anyways. I think telling him off was the right thing to do. We'll have to denounce him next turn. Yeah. Okay, so this guy come over here. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and start burning it to the ground. Actually, you know what? If you guys would afford me the opportunity, I think I want to end this section here. I am getting kind of hungry. There's a lot of iffy decisions to be made here, and if I cut it off here, I can go ahead and get this up and get your guys' opinions as far as how soon to go after this guy. Like, do we wait for metallurgy just to get our lancers online? Because between musketmen blocking and these ranged double tappers, I mean, we could do some serious damage right now. I mean, I don't think right this second. This pikeman being back here is unfortunate. Although if he stays here, that's not a bad thing. So, I mean, I would hate to go straight into another war is what I'm getting at. We can probably make peace with Washington, but I'll leave that for the next episode. So I'm just going to wrap this up here. Let me know what you guys think as far as the dynamite thing and how, you know, planning to proceed into cavalry anyways. What to do about this situation, making peace with Washington right now, etc., etc. It might be it might be worthwhile to stay at war just to see how this pans out, really, but that's kind of a silly thing. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for joining me. I do apologize for the lapse, but like I said, that dynamite kind of threw me for a curve. So, and I was doing some studying on the side, different games. But back in it now, and hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.